Elspeth Buchan and the Blash o' God. When the guid folk of Buchan Hall were skint, there was nae greeting. We'll speer the Lord for siller, quoth Elspeth. I'm sicker he kens where Gracie and follow his word. Tak yon hap, and we'll climb the hill, and the Lord will gie us a blash o' kiney. And up they gan, canting and praying, and past the nicht, but nae signal nor bodle cam. The rest were wabbit and wandered back and slept, leaving the lass herself in the brew of the hill, aye locket incantation with an unseen voice. Later, the door burst agley, and there she stands, her head splendid and glazy with the dawn, clocked in a 5-pound note, and chiding those with peery faith. To those with sick licht in their een, the Lord, or some other, will provide. Steel Flame. Elspeth Simpson, Anne Lee, John Southcott, born within a few years, all hosts to the breath of God. As harvest failed, war and revolution flared, we wept with these women, their fire, their power, the steel flame of their prophecy. Further. The mob chased the degenerates half drowned from Scott's Loch, beat them with dippet and spade, and cast them into the wilderness. They had heard all the tales of orgies in the woods at midsummer, heretics nude, skin shining under a brazen moon, the faint strains of Buffalo Springfield behind the low moans of Stirks. Free love had come to Ayrshire, the summer of 68, 2.5 centuries early. They say Elspeth led them in caravan away, dressed all in scarlet on a snow-white horse, her hair like Joan Baez's, streaming in the hot wind. Glamour Girl. Elspeth they telt cast glamour o'er the een, clay pipe and red sweater sitting in a pile of siller or bairn's banes, glamour of the old kind, some said, the type they burnt ye for. The Word. Elspeth was the Word of God. They blazed on her brow the 12 stars. Like all nutters, she inspired fear and a lot of jokes that no one said to her face, just in case they were real, the revelations. Her belief was like a slap, a reminder that most folk reduced their lives to a weave of compromise. They were laughing behind their hands, but she was waiting for the eagles. Lure. In 100 years of darkness, any light that can be squeezed from the press is welcome. Any route through the shriven certainty underscoring us, timor mortis conturbat me, even if it's will-o'-the-wisp, fake flame, a path of green gas that leads through the woods like a certainty to death. The Smoking Dead. Elspeth's view of heaven, glam-locked rockin' good, the smoking dead, white snake archangels crying out for love, only my soul, Elspeth like Stevie Nicks, high priestess of her own franchise, crowned in incense and candlelight, striding between band members on silver platform shoes. Blood. The iron in our blood is the iron from the death of stars. Blood holds salt and water, like the sea we were born in. It pulses 12,000 miles a day from Closeburn to Vladivostok and back. Our blood is secrets, the code we were born to, each person a kist, each person a key to unlock the door of heaven. Missing kids. The lack of children at Buchan Hall led to rumours of murder. How could that much love no lead to wains? No bones were found then or since. According to the gossips, the wains were buried deep, but the special ones, kids, untrammelled by the weight of expectation and conceived under a field of stars, maybe blazed a trail. Sorry for the inconvenience. In spite of final checks, the assembly failed to depart at the designated time and from the designated runway cocked at a 45-degree angle on Templant Hill, aimed at the sundering western sky. They were cleared for lift-off by the Book of Revelations, but at the last minute there were some theological problems. Some folk were scunnered and joined the Presbyterians, but most booked for the next trip, when after 6 weeks of fasting they were reassured by the company director they'd be light enough to fly. Last Supper. What happens at the end? Mass suicide, mass murder, or a team of psychologists trained in Stockholm Syndrome, Closeburn Syndrome, post-cult stress disorders? Tour buses will pause at the perimeters of Jonestown and Baker's Ranch, but only bold history teachers will pause at Templand or Carrutherston. Slow landscapes camp now under dreich dead skies. The end of the Buchanites was not in blood, but a slow starvation of hope. Execution. £3 for peat, 16 shillings for coal, 4 for rope, 4 for a tar barrel, 8 for a drum beat. The stink came free. The smoke curled in clouds above the toll booth, cut off the light all day. The minister said his horse sweated blood when they brought her in, that she spoiled her neighbour's milk. Guid folk all, few there that day beyond the executioner, who cost the council, they noted, a pint at the start, 7 more while she burned. Another rescue by Rabbie. No event in Scotland, but Robert Burns, William Wallace or Michael Scott are involved. Walter Scott said that. And true enough now, thrilled to Robin and the Buchanites, the episode where he rides on Meg to the rescue of Bonnie Jean Gardiner, whisking her away from the clutches of the cult, out of the frying pan into the poetic fire, from the world's end to the bell end, in a single sunny afternoon. The lead. Elspeth and her cronies kent the word as it whiz speert frae the pulpits of 100 dreich kirks. It wasn't their message the ministers didn't understand, it was the dreamin'. News should be met by thrown silence. Fegs, the Daily Mail or the Sunday Post, the bitter face of Scotland the day. No chance. A land strippit of them and crowd over by bitter old gowks. A land loses its skinkle when it loses its lead. Licht. It's all we want. Scotland's aye duked in mire for guid. Mair than half the year we kick out and the land is deed. Dreich meets dreich in a clam jamfrey of dreich. In a wee chink of summer, yon's the time for it. Some grand lassie to lead us out o' glore. The Haw. In steady rain the walls rear up, every other sign gone to moss, no garden, no patch of kale, only this broken on a hillside, a space where rituals of birth and death and work were acted out almost in cloud. Lit by candlelight the faces here for 50 years, now in bloodlines or dreams. The roof came in, then cold stars. Design revelation. According to some experts, the vision of the Messiah was accompanied not by 7 stars, but 7 lampstands. A homely touch, I think we would agree. Maybe lots of exciting prophecies are mundane. If, for instance, the word for lunch had not been misread by some scholars as apocalypse, the 7 horsemen would probably have caused no furore, in fact gone home after some cake and scone. Last to go. The picture of Innes in his stovepipe hat, feet up on the hearth, dozing off among the embers. What half-thoughts in that snowy pow? I imagine of all the cavalcade of fine words, portents, wishes and dramas, desire was the last to go. Anthony Innes from the Melbourne Argus, Tuesday 14th of July 1846. Here was a strong, undying faith. For 50 years, while the rest of the world was busied with the rise and fall of Napoleon, with continental blockade under the imperial dynasty of France, with corn laws under the aristocracy of England, with wars such as the world had never known before, with the birth and death of monarchies in Europe and republics in America, in an obscure corner of Scotland lived a man from the age of 32 to an age exceeding 70, who cared for none of these things. hugging himself with the belief that he possessed a treasure greater than all other things on earth. In this reverential spirit did he for 50 years tend her senseless corpse with all the care of a mother for her child. Our badges. 2019, I'm looking at the ribs of Buck and Haw slowly descending to mulch. Like Innes, we all keep bones in our attic hoping they might fly. Mine are the usual, the dream to walk long beaches in the sun with love, and that desperation that all our children, all our women, all our men might ascend from the mediocrity of mud and those who want to suck us down. I want freedom. I want the Queen and all her choirs of gun-toting freaks to die. I want Elspeth on our badges.